Okay, day number 19. Today we did a lot. So, again, woke up super early. I actually had traffic on the way because they're doing construction now on the Southern State Parkway, which kind of stinks because I imagine that's going to go on for a little while. So I definitely have to leave now like 10 minutes earlier. So, who said anything about leaving at 5:30? Let's leave at 5 o'clock. Anyways, so what are some of the things we did today? So we took off, we practiced slow flight. So that's like flying at like 55 knots, which is like 60 miles an hour in landing configuration. And the task at hand was really to focus on my heading. So what direction I was going in, because you actually do need to add, your average amount of power if you weren't flying slowly, because we actually configure the plane in a way that the plane produces more induced drag, which means that the plane's actually trying to slow down. So we increase the power to fight that induced drag. So you have the same amount of power, but you're going very slowly. And when those two things happen at the same time, your plane tends to drift to the left. So because I didn't make the right correction to not drift to the left, we ended up drifting to the left. And this whole look, this is a look. I got so many eyes. Okay. Anyways, that was number one. So we're working on that. Number two was steep turns. So steep turns are just like, the ability to turn at a 45-degree bank angle and, make that really sharp. Then we practiced turning around to point, which is we just picked like a tip of the iceberg or tip of a little like a peninsula off of the North Shore of Long Island, and we flew around it. And it's actually harder than you might think, just because you want to maintain the same distance and fight the wind. So that went okay the second or third time around. Then we did some S-turns, which are basically the ability to, kind of like weave in and out over a straight line. So we went to like the shore of Long Island, or one of the, edges of Long Island, whatever you want to call it. And we flew perpendicular to it. And then when we were perpendicular, we turned 180 degrees to go back in the other direction. And then when we crossed it again, we turned the other way. And you kind of just practice weaving in and out. It's a good time killer if you needed to kill some time, and as well, it's a great way to for your passengers to be able to see like a beautiful landscape, or maybe you're looking at some type of monument or shore, something like this. We practiced our emergency descents, which are like, getting down fast. Surprisingly, not surprisingly, like you don't want to use so much distance. So you actually turn at like a steep bank angle turn. So you're really steep and you pitch your nose down and you actually you cut all power. And basically, just the momentum of you spiraling down is kind of what allows you to slow down. So you can check out the actual map that I'm going to include with my blog post regarding this video. So you can actually see all the different times we actually did turns and we did S-turns. I'm not editing this video to show you that, so you'll just have to look and induce it yourself and interpolate it yourself. Anyways, last but not least, everyone's still asking me all the time about my landings. So we did 2 landings. I actually watched a video last night from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which is like, one of the most prominent universities for pilots to come out of in the US. And one of the things they mentioned was where you're actually looking while you're landing makes a big difference in your approach to, rounding out. So, going from that position of, flying downwards to leveling off to then, pitching your nose upwards. So today I practiced that. We did have some crosswind. So my instructor kind of corrected me a little bit on how to correct the airplane for crosswind. So that means you want to turn into the wind, but also you don't want to be sideways. You want your longitudinal axis of your airplane, meaning the axes from your tail to the front of your plane, to be like straight with the runway. So you have to correct for that. And then, so we landed, it wasn't so great. And then we did it again. And again, much more comfortable on my part, meaning because I was choosing to look in another area once I came closer to the ground and look ahead rather than down, my fear of crashing into the ground really just kind of faded away. So I'm excited. Tomorrow we'll probably not have class because we'll probably not have a flight because of the weather, but we are going to do some ground school. So I'm completing a written test to actually fly my solo. That's going really slowly because of work. It has just been super crazy at my main client. We are working on this huge project that the organization has a lot of stakes in. So that's taken up a lot of my time. And then I'm probably not making any progress on ground school until the weekend. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, that's it for today. Excited for Saturday to practice some more landings, hopefully. I mean, maybe the weather will cooperate tomorrow, we'll see. But if not, I'm happy still to get up at 6:30. You know, I don't have to get there so early. I don't have to get there 30 minutes earlier. I can get there exactly at 6:30 for an hour lesson and be home by 8 a.m. So we'll see how that goes. Bye.